Why Infanta Sofia is scared for Leonoor. The room is quiet, but not empty. Two sisters stand close, close enough to sense the shift in breathing, far enough to respect what cannot be shared. One is watched by the state. The other is watching her. For Infanta Sofia, fear does not arrive as panic. It arrives as clarity. She sees what others are taught not to notice. The tightening schedule, the narrowing choices, the way silence begins to replace spontaneity. Those closest to the crown understand its weight first. From the outside, succession looks ceremonial, measured, orderly. Inside the family, it looks like subtraction. Each year, something ordinary is removed. A freedom, a delay, a possibility that never becomes a discussion. And the sister who will never reign sees it all happen to the one who must. For Princess Leonoor of Spain, the transformation is gradual by design. So gradual that the public calls it preparation. But preparation is only the acceptable word for loss. 2 minutes in, the illusion fractures. People assume Sofia's fear is about danger. Security threats, public pressure, the risks that come with visibility. That is not the fear. The real fear is permanence. Because once the crown decides who you are, it does not change its mind. It waits for you to change instead. This is the living thread of continuity. Leonoor is not being shaped for a role. She is being reduced into one. Every restriction has a reason. Every reason sounds responsible. Together, they become irreversible. Sofia watches this not as an observer, but as a control subject. She lives under the same roof, hears the same briefings, follows the same news, yet the rules bend differently around her. She is permitted softness. Leonoor is trained for endurance. By 5 minutes, the phrase returns, heavier now. Because fear does not require danger when inevitability is present. History has taught families like this a quiet lesson. The air absorbs pressure so the institution does not have to. The spare absorbs perspective, and perspective can be frightening. National identity is woven into these rituals. Not just through crowns and ceremonies, but through family dynamics carefully engineered to survive stress. At 8 minutes, a deeper tension emerges. What happens when one sister becomes symbolic before she is allowed to be complete? Sofia sees the answer forming early. In the way conversations stop mid-sentence. In how opinions are acknowledged, then set aside. In how Leonoor is listened to, but not followed. The crown does not punish. It redirects, again, and again, until resistance no longer occurs. At 10 minutes, the pressure widens beyond the family. In the United States, this transformation is read as institutional discipline. In the United Kingdom, it is recognized as familiar, even necessary. In Canada and Australia, it reassures that the monarchy still understands succession as containment. In Germany, it evokes a respect for constitutional restraint shaped by history. None of these observers see what Sofia sees. They see stability. She sees cost. At 14 minutes, the point of no return approaches quietly. There is a moment when the future sovereign stops asking what she wants. Not because she has learned the answer, but because the question has become irrelevant. Sofia recognizes this moment immediately. Because it does not happen to her. That difference sharpens fear into certainty. Once the institution becomes internal, it no longer needs enforcement. It moves through posture, through instinct, through silence. At 19 minutes, the future threat takes shape. Not collapse, not rebellion, but erosion of the personal self. A head of state who has never been allowed to fully arrive as an individual must govern as an abstraction. The crown believes this is strength. Sofia is not so sure. She understands that institutions require distance. But she also understands that distance, prolonged too long, becomes isolation. And isolation changes people. The final image returns to the two sisters. One walking ahead, already framed by history. The other half a step behind, still permitted to notice what is being left behind. Not because something bad will happen tomorrow, but because something human is already disappearing today. Continuity is not abstract here, it is embodied in one sister being prepared to endure, and the other being left to remember what endurance replaced. The crown moves forward, the family adjusts, and the weight remains, understood first by the one who will never wear it. The story is not finished.